5 Pusha T records, not the records he's featured on. If 5 Pusha T records came on right now, could you rap them? Wait, could you rap 5 Pusha T records right now if they started playing? All right, could you rap 5 J verses if they came?
Absolutely.
Could you rap with 5 Drake verses if they came on?
Nah. You lying.
All right, Wham Bam, thank you, man. Let's get to it. So, Jim Jones, you should have seen the clips by now. Hey, man, there's going to be a lot of puns in here, the clips. You get it? Yeah, so you should have seen Jim Jones talking on The Breakfast Club and also on the Bootleg Kev, Super Journalist, Powwow, Get Together, Mastermind, Super fucking Legion of Doom table about the top 50 rappers or whatever the fuck it was. I think they was talking about the Billboard list or whatever. It was a power podcast type setup. And Jim Jones basically said some shit along the lines of, you know, Pusha T is not top 50. And the reasons he gave for why he's not top 50 that I remember is basically, you don't hear Push in the club and you don't hear him outside. That's one. And 2, nobody wants to be Pusha T. He's not a cool dude. I'm paraphrasing, but those are basically the 2 things. Drake's name also came up, and with that being said, that context is going to be important later. So this has been lingering for like 30 days, a month, however long it's been lingering and stuff like that. Pusha T finally responded, and it's mastermind level shit as far as how he responded. So before I get into the response, you know, what you're going to see is he's at Fashion Week, and I'm pretty sure it's in Paris or whatever. You know, he's out there walking with his brother Malice from the clips, walking the runway. The show is Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton. If you remember back then, Jim Jones had the Vamp Life or the Vampire Life. It was Vamp Life, I'm pretty sure. Brand. And the logo looked very Louis Vuitton-ish. It looked like, you know, pretty much a rip on the Louis Vuitton. I don't know if a cease and desist happened. You know how I do. If it did, I'll have the shit plastered on the screen. That's kind of like a subliminal right there. Beyonce and Hove was there nodding their head and stuff like that, you know, at the runway show watching it. But let's listen to the bars real quick. So this is the thing that you need to know. You know, I'm not about to sit here and lie like, oh, I could dissect everything. Because, like, the whole, like, there's no tombstones in the desert. Like, by now you know the message. Like, I think that sounds cool. I can't say if that's a super top tier subliminal, like, oh, man, yeah, something happened in the desert or whatever. Like, I don't know. You know, tombstone pizza punchline. I don't know, dog. But the one line that I did get, we in the room, but here's the elephant. You chasing a feature outside your element. Basically insinuating that Jim Jones is doing this because he fuck with Drake. You know, Cameron gave Drake, you know, the pink mink at like the OVO Fest or whatever it was recently. He had some shit in Harlem where he was performing in Harlem and he shut down the Apollo. Drake, it was a show. And he had, you know, Dipset come out and stuff like that. And he wore Cameron pink meek and all types of shit. So, you know, he borrowed the real pink meek from motherfucking Cameron. So, you know, he has Dipset ties. And as far as Jim, he's insinuating, it's Pusha T, he's insinuating that he's doing all this, the Pusha T hate campaign, to try and get a Drake feature. Which, you know, I mean, when I first seen the shit, I was like, he really picking a side right now, even though the beef is cold. Like, it's been cooked. The beef has been cooked. But it's like McDonald's beef patties. Like, they never expire. You could hold them for 20 years. You know, you don't even got to refrigerate them. Just put them in a Ziploc. They not gonna mold or nothing. That's what this beef is. It's cooked, but it's cold, you know, and even though he like doing all of this and picking a side, the only motive I could see for it is to get more in the good graces and get a feature. And honestly, there might not be any motive behind it. That might just be how he really feels. But when you see how hard he went about Pusha T not being top 50 in certain things, listen, man, like, look, I've rapped, and I've rapped on a much lower tier level because these are national, like, fuck national. Both of these guys are global artists, but I also produce. So I know the rapper ego like none other. Like, even though these niggas are on a higher playing field, bruh, it be niggas on the lowest tier to be wildly arrogant. I say that to say, if you know about the ego of rappers, if you know about the ego of rappers, you cannot, as a rapper, say anything about another rapper that can be considered disrespect unless you are willing to either die behind it or fist fight or fuck a diss. Cause like, you know, these niggas, like, you see how Jim Jones get down. You see, like, you know, they fucking beat up Freddie Gibbs and shit like that. You know, it's a bunch of other shit like that, you know, in niggas' careers and stuff like that. But yeah, with that, like, you can't do that because these niggas be hypersensitive. I know y'all done seen NBA YoungBoy yelling at his camera enough to notice. Over nothing. The nigga stood up J. Cole. He was actually in the wrong. And then I guess because J. Cole did a song with motherfucking Dirk and he spoke on getting stood up by NBA YoungBoy. NBA YoungBoy was mad and he talking about it's going to be nice to meet you when I see you and all this stuff, and then tried to beef with Drake. Like, look at all the sensitive shit when we talk about a nigga like NBA YoungBoy. That's in a lot of rappers. Oh yeah, if you watch my video, it's probably gonna come out after this, but the one about the, you know, the white dude Tanner Watkins and stuff like that, I said, like, it's nothing more dangerous than a sensitive or emotional hood nigga. Now you take that and then you pair that with, you know, this rap shit and niggas egos with the rap shit, and then niggas is like, you know, gangsters, put the air quotes gangsters, or they at least have gangsters around them. Like, that shit is explosive. So, you know, it's bad news. So with this was bound to come. I seen Mano talk about it. I see he said Jim Jones, you know, called him and stuff like that. Jim laughed at the shit on Instagram. He was not moved by it. He told the nigga to come harder, basically.
Yeah, I think
Pause.
That was not a top 50 verse. Not at all.
He was traveling. He just came back last night.
Still not in my top 50.
Funniest thing is J.R. Ryder. J.R. Ryder weighed in on it. And listen, man, I'm a Dipset fan. I was a J.R. Ryder fan back in the day. Like, I thought he was the coldest out of the group because it was a punchline there. You know, we was all about the bars. We wasn't too much about the music. It was all about the bars. And J.R. got them fucking bars. That being said, I know how Push worked. Push is not going to entertain that beef at all. He's not going to entertain it because it's not high level shit. Jim Jones is not a nigga that's going platinum now, but Jim Jones has enough notoriety currently and is relevant enough within the media of the culture to where he will pretty much entertain that beef. You know, the nigga just did like the verses with Dipset and the Locks and stuff. Like, Jim Jones is a major figure. Like, the nigga's a legend. So, and anybody who disputes that he's a legend, man, go watch my old video about what a hip hop legend is and what makes a nigga a legend and stuff like that. He fits all the criteria. Fuck out of here. I'm not debating with you. But that's basically all I have for that, man. You know, as far as Push, you know, the diss is immaculate as far as the subliminal and, like, you know, the bars and stuff. He word shit real well. He get the right beats, all that. This would be real nice to see. And the thing about it, and I'm gonna keep it 500,000. You know, it's a safe beef in my opinion because no bloodshed is gonna come of it. Because if this nigga been doing that to Cash Money all this time and then been on the elevator with Baby and nothing happened to him and all that stuff, like, it's gonna be if he done been beefing with them this long and nothing happened to him, he clearly know how to move. The most that happened to him is he got beer thrown on him, you know, in Toronto. So that, you know, he gonna be fine, man. Not gonna get into all that shit, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out.